What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and of course we're coming back today with more danchro. We just got the rerun for the Lakeshore Werewolf, and of course we need to kind of talk about this event. Now, individual point ranking is currently live. Obviously it's going to favor several different units. We will kind of cover that in its own right. That really warrants its own video. But what's really cool is, once again, just like we had before, you acquire tickets by running events. And as you run events, you'll be able to come in here and run all these boss battles. Obviously, just for example, here we can run the EX real fast. EX shouldn't require anything too specialized. It is obviously recommending the red element. I know I'm not necessarily doing that, but I'm also going to auto-run this with some Festas, which should be way overpowered for the event. So let's see how this plays out. It should roll pretty quickly. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I'm too lazy to build a team. Obviously, when you're actually going for score, and when you do this for real, you want to run a team with a lot of bonuses. I'm just kind of doing this to get it over and done with real fast. Essentially, those bonuses will give you better rewards. You get better results out of that, and then when you skip further on down the road, you'll just get, a much better result. I'll build that team here shortly. I don't have that team currently in my repertoire, and I'm sure anybody who wants to build a team... In fact, we can really talk about that real fast. Bam. And she's done. And obviously, the built team for this event will defeat it even faster. Although that, I would not consider that a slow run at all. All right. So, yeah. Let's see. You're going to nail this one. It's super easy. But if you want to come in here and build a team, let's do this real quick. Whenever the game decides real quick is coming back. There we go. Rewards. So go back in here, go to prepare to attack, and then just find a team you don't mind kind of eviscerating for this. Case in point, I really don't mind taking this team apart. And then, actually, take that back. I need that team for another... Well, no, we'll be good. We'll be good. So, come in here, you can go sort filter, reset, and then you can filter this down by event bonuses. And then anyone that has an event bonus, case in point her, will be available for you to use. So you can go ahead and snag those units and just basically build a team that's going to give you the most event bonuses. Obviously, go down here to bonuses as well. There are bonuses for scene cards. I apparently don't have that one, so we'll need to acquire that one. Same with that one, so we'll probably have to go in and acquire a few of those. It'll also tell you what limit break you are. Obviously, the higher the limit break, the higher the bonus. Some of these they get more bonuses than others. Obviously, free to plays tend to give less bonus, but it is what it is. And it'll tell you over here, adventure and assist, who's going to give you the best bonus. And obviously, it wants either the adventurer Ryu or the adventurer. Come on. Ooh, we want to go back. Come on. Go. Shoot. Get it. There. Boom. Obviously, you want either the adventurer Ryu or this Anya. Now, if you don't have either one of them, we're going to talk about the gacha here in a minute. You do have two different assists to choose from, so go ahead and acquire those and do what you need. But all pretty straightforward stuff. Now, once you've beaten that enough times and you've gotten your rewards, you're going to come over here to the box gacha, and you're going to go ahead and just run this and use a whole bunch of points to just acquire a bunch of free items. Obviously, we have the scene card in here. Let's go to the lineup. You have everything in here. And if you weren't here for the last one, I ran this out to like 40-something rounds. Basically, anything after round 6 is just a recycling. So you'll be able to do this over and over again. But what's really nice is that you have the small items in here for the ability board. So it's really, really handy to run this. Because as you saw there, I have 1,700 of these suckers. So I can use them basically to farm things indefinitely in there. It's just super handy. So make sure you guys are doing that. Let's talk about the gacha real quick. I'm sure that's the one question on everybody's mind. Is this gacha worth summoning on? And honestly, I'm going to say no. I know the units, are going to be good in their own right, but every unit really has like that niche that they work on. We know that here in about a little less than 2 months, they're going to be coming in hard with an all-new event. And you really, really, really want to be able to go into that event. Plus, I'm expecting at some point they'll do another rerun of the Festas if enough people aren't summoning and things like that. So honestly, even though I'm lacking a few of these units, my temptation to go in here is really low, honestly. But we'll see what happens with individual point ranking as well. We should be able to nail a pretty good score on that even without them. So we'll kind of cover that all in its own right. What do these units do? Well, let's take a quick glance here. So let's go back to the adventurers to kind of start off. There we are. Let's scene card. So, Ryu. Skill details. Attack multiplier 52% round AoE attack 4 times. Then grants multiplier of 150%, cooldown 400. 1 hit linear AoE attack. Grants recovery grants recovery with a magic multiplier of 180%. That's actually really good to all units. So all magic units get a big buff. Also grants 2 magic increase of 7%. Permanently to all units, can be stacked up to 10 times. So after 10 uses of that, basically everybody gets a big boost. And that's everybody on the team. That's actually really, really, really good. But it is specifically to magic. So if you got units like Belle that kind of that really rely on their strength stat, it's not going to be as good. I think the true and honest test of this is, do we see these units in play a lot? And I really don't. So, you know, I'm going to kind of stick with my assessment. It's probably better just wait for the next thing. Skill 2, attack multiplier 165, cooldown 400, run 1 hit round AoE attack, pulls enemies in closer range, grants 26% reduced endurance to the enemy for 10 seconds. Basically, just pulls everyone in, makes them easier to kill. Also grants, easier to unalive. Grants all unit recovery with a magic multiplier of 180, 30% magic increase for 10 seconds, and 4.5 continuous recovery. So, a lot of good stuff there. And finally, attack multiplier of 585%, not the highest we've seen by a long shot. Cooldown 2000, that's very low cooldown. 1 hit round AoE attack applies 52% fire damage increase, 19.5% increase in movement speed. That's a high movement speed increase. 39% damage increase to all units for 30 seconds, and applies 200% increase active skill damage to your own unit. But do remember, these do fall off the map quickly. So if we go down here to A0, basically if you don't have her, you're like, well, I can get 1. That drops to 39%. Look how much of her skills you lose. And that's why I say I find it really, really, really hard to justify going in there if you don't have any of her. Let's talk Anya real quick. Skill details. Attack multiplier 124.8%. Front facing AoE attack hits 4 times. Flying dive. Attack multiplier 180%. Cooldown 400. 1 hit linear AoE attack applies 9%. Critical rate increase for 15 seconds and 19.5 damage increase for 13 seconds to your unit. Maximum number of stacks 3, so you can stack them 3 times. Critical rate increase can be stacked up to 6 times. Effect duration resets upon multiple activations. So if you activate that too many times, the critical rate will kind of reset. So that is a bit of a loss. I really wish there were more permanent stacks, but you know, at some point it kind of is what it is. All right, technique 2. There we go. Attack multiplier of 198%, cooldown 800, 1 hit linear AoE attack, applies 30% critical damage increase for 15 seconds, 19.5 damage increase for 3 seconds to your unit. Maximum number of stacks 3, critical damage increase can be stacked up to 6 times just like before. Effect duration resets upon multiple activations. Finally, her alt, attack multiplier of 702, cooldown 3000. That's a really low number, by the way, with a high cooldown. 1 hit linear AoE attack applies 400% reduced technique cooldown, 97.5% increase action skill damage 15 seconds, 65% fire damage increase, 78% increase movement speed for 20 seconds, and 104% increase technique gauge accumulation rate for 25 seconds to your unit. So, it's a lot of information, but I just want to show you one more time. Look how much that just kind of drops off the face of the earth once you're at A0. So if you don't have her, don't chase her. She's good, but she's not like long-term levels of good. I don't think she's someone that, like, you know, Festa Ryu or whatever, whenever she runs, you must go after her. She's really good. She works in everything. This is not one of those types of units. She's good, but she's very niche. So do bear that in mind. So it is back. There's a lot to consider there. We do have the box scotch and all that. So we'll come back. We'll talk about individual point ranking. We'll talk about so much more coming up soon. Like, share, comment, and I'll see you guys again shortly.